Good of you to tune in. My name is Sjoerd and I'm hosting the automation show today. I am ready. Are you? Let's get started. Let's look at some Linux Ansible modules that can be used always. These are good modules to know and to learn when you're starting out or learning Ansible. If you are into automation and Ansible and all our automation tools, make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Today's modules we're going to discuss are debug, package, firewall daemon, user, template, shell/command. And for each module we will describe what they will do, and we will have some samples to discuss together. Let's start with our first module, debug. The debug module is handy when you want to display stuff on the screen or when it doesn't work. You want to see the version, you want to see if a step succeeded, you want to know why a condition was not met, then you're going to use the debug message to put it on the screen. Let's have a look at an example. The most simple example is the top one. Just make a task called debug and add a message parameter. If you want to use a variable, used in the second example, you have to use quotes around the whole string. If you just want to display a variable, then you can use debug var option. It is good practice to start all tasks in your playbooks with a name tag. So the last example starts with a name tag. This is a debug task with a name attached. That's just nice to see. Otherwise, also in the logging you will only see debug, and now you will just see the whole message, which is a little bit nicer, and as I said, it's a good practice to work like that. The next module we're going to discuss is package. Use the package module when you need to install an OS package. No need to know what package manager is used. However, you can specify it, but it's not needed. Let's have a look at some examples. Here are 3 examples. The first example installs 2 packages, telnet and a C shell. It will inform Ansible to install the latest version available. The second example tells it to install telnet, but it doesn't specify latest. It just says make sure it's installed. And the last example is how you can say that it must not be installed. So it must be absent, and that is the option you can use. State is absent. And depending on your playbook, you can use latest or present, also depending on the speed you need. For example, telnet, you could say, well, just make sure it's present, because it's not that important that you have the latest features of telnet. The next module that we're going to look at is a firewall daemon. Manage firewall ports from your code. Quickly, easily, and documented. Open ports temporarily or indefinite. Let's have a look at some examples. We have 3 examples. Option 1 is to close port 80 and make this permanent. The second example makes sure that the HTTPS port 443 is opened immediately. So in the previous example, port 80 will stay active until the firewall daemon has reloaded the rules or has been restarted. The second example makes it active immediately. And you can also use, of course, variables also for ports. Then we move on to the next module, and that is the user module. The module to create, change and delete users on Linux. We have 3 examples here. We create a user subtube and we can give it a name. Here are comments. We can also add groups to the user. And so in this example, we add the group YouTube to it and the group ADM. So a Linux user can be part of multiple groups. And in the last example, I'm also showing you how you can create a group. You can also specify group IDs, user IDs, if the home directory needs to be in a different place, etc, etc, etc. You can also remove users by making them absent. So then you've got another state tag, which you can then say absent. You can set passwords. Everything is possible to manage your users in this way. Then we move over to the next module, which is template. You can use templates to move files from the code to your servers and change variables that are in those templates, which is very handy. In this example, we have only one example here, but we create a new sudoers file, which will allow the group YouTube to become an application ADM user and execute all commands without using a password. The template is stated below the example and it's in the code in the templates directory. The destination is on the remote server where you run the code. You can set owner, group, mode, and in this example the file will be copied over there and the application variable will be replaced with the application variable value which is stated in your inventory, for example, or in your playbook. The next module is shell. Execute OS commands to do virtually anything. Register the output, return code or error message. Here we have 4 examples. In the first example, we install the DB. As an example, we install a database with the command install, and this will create the directory /db data db name. And when this directory already exists, it will not execute the task. In the next example, we are also registering the output. So we're going to install the database again, use the install command, and the output will be in the db install variable. With the debug command, we can print out what comes out. And then you see standard error, standard out, return code, what was the exact command, what arguments were given, etc, etc, etc. The third example is an example where you can also say which shell to be used when executing the code. So in this example, the C shell is given. And in the last example, I'm showing you how to add environment variables to the script that you are remotely executing, which can be handy. These were the Ansible modules for today. There is always more Ansible, more modules, more things to learn. Think about tags, think about inventories, think about doing stuff on the cloud, on Azure, on AWS. Think about CI/CD, how to use includes, ad hoc commands, do stuff with Ansible Tower or AWX. If you want more, it's really easy. Smash that like button, destroy it, make it go off the screen, subscribe and tell me in the comments if you have suggestions or things that you are interested in that you want to see. Thanks for the attention and I'll see you next time.